Hello, YouTubers. It is Big Ange bringing you everyday shenanigans. It is Sunday, September 15th, 2019. Welcome. I thought today I would do a two-part video because the subject is of the same venue and it is about church. So bear with me for those who may not patronize. I still think you can take something from this video, and those who do attend church, this is also for you as well. So sit back and enjoy the ride. All right, this two-part video I'm going to do today is going to be on the subject of people doing deeds in the church who may not actually be do-gooders, and also church hoppers. Let me start off with the do-gooders. I think a lot of people, no, let me take that back. Let me be very careful the words I use. I think that some people, who work in the church, such as volunteers, um, people who have designated positions in the church, they may be over a certain program. They could be an usher, could be a deacon, could be many things. We are not going to name names because that would be petty and facetious, and I'm not about to go there on a Sunday because I don't have to, because I'm not naming names. I'm giving it for instance, may even be a suggestion, and I'm just bringing it to you and keeping it 100. Let's just say that their heart isn't in the right place, that maybe the things that they are doing at the church, for the church, it's not, what is the word I'm looking for? It is not of the right spirit. It is not of a giving spirit. It is not of a spirit to be helpful. It is a spirit of self. That maybe they're doing good deeds and helping out at the church because they want to be seen. They want to be acknowledged. And you see that in everyday living, that people sometimes do things for others, do things for people, even when it's not even in church. It is to be seen. It is to be recognized. It is to get, an accolade to say, yes, I did that for him. I did that for her. Or did you know that they were in need, or they was out of this, or blah, 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 or I gave them a ride, or I took them to the store, to the doctor, whatever. There are people who do work in the church, be it a title or an donating their time, volunteering, that are not in good spirit. And I will give you a for instance, because I have heard so many vast stories over the years with, church shenanigans and buffoonery. And I think it's sad when you will go to church to volunteer, let's say, to help out in the kitchen, let's say, and you get into disputes with the other ladies. Why? What is it to argue over? Are we arguing over putting too much salt on the mashed potatoes or too much butter in them? Or are we arguing about the pan had too much water and you rather make the cornbread with this amount of milk? You're too old for that. And I'm saying this because it's sad when you hear little whispers and shenanigans that go on, and some people may hear it and some people may not. And it's sad if you're representative of that church. Let's say you are a patronizer and or a member. You don't want to hear that type of filth and crazy talk about the place that you're trying to go worship and praise the Lord. But I want to send this message to you do-gooders. Either be in the church in good faith, in good spirit, or don't go at all. Don't patronize at all. Because you see, don't volunteer rather. Because you're supposed to be there to be doing good deeds to help the church. And people make the church. So if you're not there in good faith and of a willing and cheerful spirit and not for gain, self-gain, you're not there for the right reasons, you should not be there. And I wanted to say this because over the years, I have always, you hear little crazy things that go on. You don't know if it's true or not. You don't want to spread rumors of this or that. But you hear little things and you start to wonder, like, what be really going on? Because, if you're not really fraternizing with all types of people to know what's going on, you're just bewildered. Because in your mind, you're thinking, well, you're supposed to be in the church to help out. You're supposed to be, directing this or this. And you always hear just crazy stuff of people in the church bickering, and I don't understand why you're there. Why are you there? Because you know that's ugly. And it's nasty and it's undignified, especially being a lady. Because you should be a lady no matter where you are. Hello? Ding. I mean, really? Arguing in church? Arguing in the kitchen? Over nonsense and buffoonery? Why? You're too old for that. And it looks bad. And it sends a bad message to the church, to the pastor, to the community. Because you're passing and helping pass along unnecessary gossip and shenanigans. And that's not what the church is about. You're supposed to go to the church to praise, give thanks, tithe, offering, do good deeds, service when needed, volunteer. That's what church is about. Okay? And I believe what the pastor says, that everyone has a place in church. Everyone should want a place in church. And I feel like sometimes maybe that's why a lot of people don't patronize church, why people don't help with certain things going on with the church, such as activities and functions, because maybe they hear little things and they say, well, I don't want to be a part of that because they got this going on, or Susie May tends to act like this or do this or always want to run the show and this and that. And that's sad and it's petty. And I think that's a terrible thing to be said about any church, true or not. And it shouldn't be that way. Yes, we're all different. We all have our own opinions. Some of us are more opinionated than others in giving our opinions on how we think things should go. But you have to be very careful that you don't step on people's toes and act like a busybody and act like you a know-it-all or act like you're better than somebody else. Because last I was told, we all put our drawers on the same way. So quit playing, Felicia. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all know better. Come on now. All right. Now that we have discussed the do-gooders, let's talk about the church hoppers. Now, some of you are saying, now, Big Ange, where you going with this? You know where I'm going with it, boo-boo. I'm bringing it to you 100, full throttle. Okay, the church hopper is the person that can't seem to find what they are looking for. Now, I don't know what they're looking for. I don't even know if they're looking for the Lord. I don't know if they're looking to be a member of a church. I don't know if they're trying to find themselves. But what I have seen over the years, people who hop from church to church. Now, let me say, this may not apply to people that live in bigger cities because, you can go from church to church up north, East Coast. Nobody's ever going to know because you have so many churches, synagogues, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's going to know unless you tell your business. But when you live in a small town, such as East Tennessee, where the demographics is mighty, mighty low on the black side, people talk, people watch. So let's just say in a small town, you have church hop from church to church. You ain't got but a few black churches, if you're patronizing black churches, mind you. And, people will make commentary, of course. Well, I saw, Susie May, she came to church on Sunday. And then I saw Susie May, she went to this. Now, mind you, Susie May not be a member of a church. Nothing wrong with that. Everyone's got the reasons for why they go to different churches, patronize different churches. If you're trying to find a church home, then you have every right to go to different services and see if this church is a fit for you. Nothing wrong with that. So let me be clear on that. But when I talk about a church hopper, I'm talking about the person who has made it self-evident to be at everybody's church for some reason or another. Maybe they was a member at this church over here. Maybe they grew up in that church. Maybe they went there for some other reason. Their friend invited them, or their mama, grandmama went there, or whatever reason. And then next thing you know, something jumps off when Susie May decide she don't like that church no more. Why did she leave? Do you wonder and question that sometimes? Well, Susie been going here 10 years, 15 years, 30 years, 40 years. Whatever the number may be. And you'll start to wonder. And then there'll be some whispers like, well, girl, this happened. That's why she left, girl. Her and Susie May number 2, they got to arguing and woo, 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 and yah. Ding. Okay. Now, Susie May's going to second church. She stays there for a little while. May join, may not, but patronize, let's just say. Then she stops going there. Now you look up, she's at another church. I'm going to keep it 100. Yes, things change in a church. We change as people. But you have to admit that when you start going from church to church, joining church, changing memberships, after so many years at one church, it does look suspicious. Now, yes, you have the right to change your church. It is your prerogative. You are an adult. But when you are leaving for facetious reasons, then you might need to check yourself. Because what one will start to wonder, why did they leave? And as we said, it is your business, your prerogative. But are you that person that is a busybody in the church? Are you known to cause strife in the church? Are you one of those people that's the do-gooder, the wannabe do-gooder, but is going to the church for facetious reasons to stir up trouble and chaos and argue and bicker amongst the other church members? Are you that person? Are you church hopping because you knew you were a problem at your last church, you see, and then you go to another church and you carry that same wicked spirit with you? And let me tell you, it's like anything in life. Apartment, job, neighborhood, relationships, work. You can move around the earth 50 times over. You can move from here to New York to California. You can go find a new apartment, new house, new neighborhood. But if you have the same spirit, the same mentality, you're going to have the same problems. And yes, we in life sometimes think moving somewhere, just give it for instance, that it's going to be better. But we also have to own our part in the transition. Am I a problem? Am I the cause? What is my response in the situation and scenario? And I speak for myself personally, that sometimes we engage, sometimes we don't mean to engage in certain things, and we have to say to ourselves, why do these things keep happening or following us? So I'm saying this to you church hoppers that go from church to church, joining or patronizing from one to the other, and you're leaving this church for facetious reasons. Maybe you need to take a look at yourself. Maybe you need to ask yourself why you keep jumping around from church to church. Because I'm just going to say this personally, and I'm going to check on out of here. When you live in a small area, small community, county, whatever, and you have been to more than 2 churches in a 20, 30-year span of your life, I would have to think that maybe you're the problem. I'm just saying. Not all, but a some, maybe just I say a few, that maybe you're the problem, that maybe you have an attitude problem, maybe you have a wicked spirit or not good spirit about yourself, and you're carrying that omen with you place to place, and you're going to carry it place to place even if you didn't believe in God or was a Christian or went to church. That you're going to always have problems because you need to sit down and have a talk with yourself, because you're supposed to be talking to Jesus. That's why you're going to churches, to get the word and get something from the word, but you're not taking nothing out of there. And it's sad, because that means what? The pastor's wasting his time sitting up there trying to give you the word, and you're not trying to take nothing out of there. Like I say, we all flawed, yes indeed. But sometimes we got to do some soul searching on ourselves and say, I could do better in this area. I will try to make an effort to do better in this area. Let me tell you something. It don't look good, church hopping. I'm just keeping it 100. That's Big Angie's personal opinion. Like I said, if you're not already a member of a church, if you are searching for a church home, that's different. You're trying to find a fit for you. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it may take a couple of months, may even take a couple of years. But I'm talking about you veterans. I'm talking about you veteran churchgoers that go for a couple of years. Then next thing you know, something jump off. Your name is in the mix probably. Then now you go run over here. You go to this church. Then next thing you know, your name is in some new shenanigans. I can tell you now, and this is not all scenarios, but if your name ringing over at church 1, then you go to church 2, and your name ring up and something going on over there, then boo-boo, you the problem. And you should not take that omen over to church number 2, because you shouldn't have had the omen at church number 1. And I will say this, pastors who get wind of this type of behavior should Get involved because he is the orchestrator, he is the guide, he is the leader of the church, and he has every right to talk to you and get an understanding with the other participants of what's going on. Because no church needs to have bad reputation. It's not right. It's not right. So I'm just saying, don't church hop. Do some soul searching first. Do some soul searching first. That's all I'm saying. Because some of you really need it. Because some of you have given your church a bad name by your behavior and your shenanigans and your demeanor, and you too old for that. And then you're supposed to be a Christian and leading by example. So start leading. I'll talk to you guys later. Drop your comments down below. Bye-bye.